So the last book I wrote was released a year ago by Penguin. It's called Uncommon Ground, and it's based on a series of dialogues that I moderated between corporate and social leaders. And the reason I did that book, it was based on a television show that I had done, and then those documents I wanted to make sure that they were recorded so that in print, so that more people could get to see what these very important business and social leaders had to say on national issues like energy and livelihoods and food security and other things. So that's what Uncommon Ground, the book, was about. And the reason I wanted to do this was because I believe that in India today, when you look at the critical issues facing the nation, the debate has become extremely polarized, and people are either for some point of view or against some point of view, and they don't sit together to find out more about the other. And in a democracy such as ours, I don't think that's very healthy. I think we need to have many more spaces in between, many more platforms where people of differing views can come together and share their beliefs. Because my suspicion is all of us want the same thing for this country, that we all want a country, a society in which the kind of society in which all of us would like to live, where there is more justice, where there is an ability for everyone to achieve their best potential, and have safety and creativity all around us, in addition to equality of opportunity at least. So that was really why I did the book. So in the book you see Sunil Mittal talking to Aruna Roy about jobs and livelihoods, and then we have Medha Patkar sitting across the table with Anand Mahindra and discussing issues of land, which are absolutely the cross-cutting and most difficult issue possibly in the country today. And then similarly you have Yogi Deveshwar talking to Sunita Narayan about how is business going to be more environmentally sustainable in this country. So there are a few other topics like that that are covered. And the great thing was at the end of the book that it became very clear that these leaders on both sides wanted the same thing for the country, and that they of course had different worldviews, but they all felt very much that platforms like this were necessary if there was, sometimes the solutions have to be found in the middle ground. So I hope that others who read the book will be able to be informed by these variety of opinions that many people have in this country, but we need to be able to now get into the solutions framework and move ahead. We're a very young country with people wanting to secure their future, and we really have to hammer out solutions together. Yeah, no, I think very clearly in India, most, at least certainly the NGOs that social leaders that I brought in, our NGOs have often been coming from a Marxist or a Gandhian perspective. So they have a suspicion of markets. They're not very convinced that markets are going to create more and better opportunities, or they believe that a focus on GDP growth alone is not going to solve India's problems. Whereas I think obviously the market side people, the business people, feel that while markets cannot do everything and cannot supplement, cannot replace the state, that if you do allow the good marketplace, they are not suggesting it should be crony capitalism or anything, but that you can unleash the creative energies of people, and you can bring in markets to deliver some public goods, if not essential goods, at least some. So there is definitely, it's not like there's a convergent worldview, but I'm saying that they both recognize that there is need to converse with each other, that these polarized divides are not good, and that we need to have some platforms where some to and froing of discussion happens in an almost institutionalized manner, because polarized debates are not good for anyone, So I think that consensus did emerge through the book and through the television show that I did. So whether anybody actually changed their mind with one dialogue, I think it would be presumptuous of me to even suggest such a thing, right? These are veteran leaders who have been doing their thing for decades. So one conversation cannot change somebody's mind, but the fact that they were able to share each other's for one moment sit from the other side and understand. It was very civil dialogues. They were not like the shouting matches you normally see on television nowadays. And that was the goal. That, you know, it's not about talking at each other but to each other. So I think for me, there is the beautiful possibility in any conversation that something somebody says will allow us to expand our own position on anything. So I think that possibility that people can expand their mind through conversations is for me the fertile ground, and that's why I believe in these kinds of platforms even in other work that I do. And I think that it's very clear that there's no one silver bullet, there's no one set of solutions which is the only right thing for a country like India. So the book tried to show that how many various kinds of solutions were being offered.